Denny, let's take a moment. First of all, tell us about the Bauer Agency.
Well, the Bauer Agency is a nationwide agency. It's been here in Wellington for the past 73, 74 years. I'm just the third principal in the agency. The agency has a long tradition of working with agriculture and with serving the Wellington community.
Well, let's talk about insurance. The industry has changed.
Most definitely, it has changed. Like so many industries out there, there's a constant change when it comes to coverages and what we do and how we do it, for sure.
Well, let's look at insurance on the farm. How has it changed?
Well, the biggest thing that's changed, and it has to change with agriculture, and Tom brought this up, the world of agriculture consistently changes, especially with the cost of machinery, the computers that are in the machinery now, and the insurance has to be able to change. And Bill and I were talking too, just about the expense and the cost of the machinery that's out there now, and making sure that you have the right coverage. So it's important to make sure that your policy is also changing with it and keeping up with that as well, because the cost of rented and borrowed equipment we were talking about can be very expensive. I mean, we have houses that are driving down the road on four wheels now, the cost of a house. So you've got to make sure that you have the right coverage.
So how often do we need to sit down with our agent and look at our coverage to make sure we have what we need?
Well, I think it's important to be able to have access to your agent at any time, being able to call up as things need to change, as you're thinking over a new purchase. Being able to have a relationship with your agent, I think is critical that way. We don't want to make mistakes along the way and find that we don't have the coverage that we need. So that's an important thing. But I would also say that at least on an annual basis, you should meet with your agent as well. You'd be surprised how many times I go out there and there are new buildings or new equipment purchased along the way. And those are important to be able to keep up, or new part of the operation that's taking place.
So are there some things on the farm today that we don't think about when it comes to coverage that we really need to be considering?
Well, absolutely. We have a part of our policy called equipment breakdown, and it is designed to be able to pay for covered equipment in the event that something happens. Could be electrical arcs, could be other things like just an animal getting in the machinery, mucking it up. And sometimes the situation that you have there is you've got the piece of machinery, but you've also have the repercussions of that, the spoilage of milk or grain being tainted by things getting into it. I mean, there's a lot of different things that can happen. So, having equipment coverage on your policy, I think, is an important thing. In addition to that, being able to cover when you have a combine and ingest a fence post or a rock or something of that nature. Those are $30,000 or $40,000 claims sometimes. So, you just have the cost of this machinery, and then you also have the cost of these repairs, or the cost of the repercussions of losing refrigeration or whatever it might be, and just making sure that you have a policy that's tied in. And really, a good agent's going to sit down with you and learn and understand your operation so that we can make sure that we have the coverage that you.
I was talking with Tom earlier, and he mentioned about somebody coming in that needs to rent a piece of equipment, and something happens. There is coverage available for that rental equipment.
Yeah, and the policy comes with a base amount, and that base amount with Nationwide is $75,000. Well, if you have a piece of machinery that you're renting that's $300,000, that's where I talked about having a good relationship with your agent, calling them up and saying, hey, what should I do in this situation? And really, with a very simple process, we can make sure that you have the amount to match what it is that you're renting. And so, I'll get calls from farmers all the time that they're asking about what I need to do on this, that, or the other thing. So that's not uncommon.
So what do you enjoy about being an insurance agent?
Well, that's a good question. Wellington Implement, I just learned today, fourth generation. I'm second generation in insurance, and what I like and I value the most is being able to help people, and I do it with making sure that they're financially secure in the event that they have a loss, and that could be from their property, but it also could be with life insurance. There is the goal of making sure that the family farm stays in the family and helping with farm perpetuation, which we also do at our agency. So, there's a lot of satisfaction in making sure that, and helping people, I should say, reach their goals, their financial goals, and making sure that they're protected.
So when you go out and sit down with a farmer, do you want everybody that's involved in the operation at the table that day when you talk about insurance?
Well, initially what you'd like to have would be the decision makers, or the people that are making decisions on it. And usually it's mom and dad. It could be as they get older, you might have a son or a daughter that's there. But yeah, most definitely you want the people that are pertinent to the operation to be talking to you.
Good. Let me ask, any of you folks out here have any questions for Denny that's come to your mind as we've sat here talking about insurance? Any questions from you folks?
Just curious why Nationwide would be the preferred partner for growers in our area.
Yeah. Well, thank you for that. That's a great question. Nationwide and Nationwide Agribusiness is the #1 insurer of farms in the country. We've got a lot of experience. We've been doing it a lot of years, and Nationwide has partnered with Farm Bureau. We have a very strong relationship with the Farm Bureau folks. I'll go up and I'll talk to the Farm Bureau about various insurance issues. There's that, they're concerned about that, but they see, of course, Farm Bureau sees a bigger picture there as well. But we do have that relationship, and again, with being the #1 insurer comes the experience of how to make sure that we have the right kind of insurance. Whether you have an orchard and you need specialized insurance for an orchard, or you're a tree farmer, or you're a row crop farmer, we can tailor the coverage to be able to meet it. And because of our size and experience, we can tailor it to what it needs to be. But I will also tell you this, and I've had farmers come in to talk to me. They also appreciate the experience at the time of claim, and having experienced people that know farming and know farming equipment to be able to come out and evaluate what's happening. And that was one of the first experiences that I had here. Well, why do you have Nationwide? Well, I had a claim, and the guy was able to come out, get me taken care of very quickly, knew exactly what it was that needed to be done, and I was back kind of on the road. So when I say on the road, in the field. So it was good. Claims, and up front, just having a good policy. In addition to that, too, I'm agri-certified. I'm a certified agent to be able to work with farmers. We have 2 other people in our office that are also certified in terms of agribusiness as well. So this is a big part of our market. This is a big part of our world. We have about 100 farms insured here in the local area, and every week I'm out on farm reviews and talking with the farmers about their operation and what we got to do. So I think it's a good package, from the agent to the product and the company backing it to the claims experience.
Other questions? Then let me ask, when did insurance really start becoming specialized?
For farmers, it became specialized when farmers couldn't get insurance. And that's how the Farm Bureau started. They started because farmers were not able to get the insurance that they needed, so they made their own insurance companies, and in there they made sure that a farmer could qualify. So with agriculture, that's been 75 years or so here in over that, 85 years or so now here in Ohio. So Nationwide used to be called Farm Bureau Insurance. So there was that change, and there's still that very close affiliation. But for farmers, it's and you'll find Farm Bureau companies all over the United States.
Denny, I appreciate you taking a few minutes to stop by to visit with us. I know you didn't have to travel very far, or you don't have to travel very far to go back to work now.
Well,
but,
that's right. That's
but thank you so much for taking some time.
Well, hey, listen, if I love talking about insurance, so it's all good. And thanks to everybody for allowing me to be able to share with them. So, all right, thanks.